thought more money would fix me, fix all my problems, make life hunky-dory, but it didn't. But I thought it would fix my life, and I don't mean in some cliche Instagram quote kind of way. I mean, I really believed it. I thought once I made more, once I hit that certain amount of money, I'd feel sharper, more confident, and I'd feel like I was more in control of my life, like everything would just magically click into place. Because that's just what you tell yourself, isn't it? If I just earn more, if I just get my money right, if I just hit that certain amount of money, if I just hit that next level and get that promotion at work and get that pay rise, if I get a certain amount of money invested, then everything else just sorts itself out. But keep watching, because I'm going to show you exactly why that's not true, why it will never be true, and why chasing more money while you're out of alignment just makes everything else worse. Because I remember periods of my life where on paper, looking in from the outside in, everything was fine. Money was coming in, nothing dramatic was wrong, and I wasn't struggling. And from the outside, looking in, I looked like I was doing well. That's the most frustrating thing about it. So I leaned into that and I made everybody else think it. I let people believe it, and I did anything I can to make people think I was doing well. But there were moments where I couldn't hide from it. First thing when I was waking up in the morning, checking my phone for a little hit of dopamine, scrolling for way longer than I should be, instead of getting started on my day and attacking the day, already feeling slightly behind before I'd even started the day. Saying to myself that I'll just train later, I'll get on it, I'll make some money later, I'll start again from tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the perfect day. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be perfect. And then what happened? I woke up the next day and I didn't do it again. This wouldn't happen once, not just occasionally. This happened over and over again, and that's the part that really started to mess with me. Really started to play with my mental. Not failure, not things going dramatically wrong. I'm talking about knowing exactly what I should be doing, and I still wasn't doing it anyway. And that creates something that you just can't escape from. And the worst thing is, it's not loud, it's not dramatic in some Hollywood blockbuster type way. It doesn't even make for a good story, because it's quiet and it happens in the background, but it follows you into every single area of your life. You feel it when you're on your own. You feel it in those little gaps during the day. You feel it when you're trying to focus, but you've got that niggling pain in the back of your head. You feel it in your heart, that thought and that feeling of you're not living how you should be. You're operating at 40-50% of your true level, and no amount of money or pay rises or money invested into the S&P 500 can fix that. And that's what I had to face, because I just kept telling myself, just earn more, just push harder, just do more, grind, hustle, make shit happen, just focus on the money and everything will fall into place. But nothing actually changed. I was living with the same habits, the same patterns and the same internal tension. I was just trying to out-earn a problem that actually had nothing to do with money. How backwards is that? And this is where most people get it wrong. This is where I was getting it wrong for so many years. And this is where you're probably getting it wrong right now. You think money's the solution. But I promise you, it's not. Money is just an amplifier. So if you're aligned across body, mind and money, having more money makes life better. But if you're not, if you're out of alignment, it just makes everything louder. The insecurities, the doubt, everything. More money means more distraction. More money means more pressure. More money means more exposure to your own flaws and your own insecurities. So that feeling you've got right now, that low level tension in the background, like something's just off, that feeling, it doesn't go away. It actually gets stronger. And that's actually uncomfortable to admit, like a lot of things in life. But when you admit it and face it head on, it removes the excuse and it gives you your power back. Because let me break it to you, it's not about your situation, it's not even your environment, it's you. Because you're not lazy, you're just divided, you're broken down and you're misaligned. And part of you know exactly what needs to be done, exactly what you should be doing, exactly what you could be doing. And then there's the other part of you that just keeps on avoiding it. And every time you choose that second part, you feel it in your head and in your heart. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That little drop in your self-respect where you start to doubt yourself. You don't talk about it, especially not with the geezers, with your mates and with your boys. But it starts to leak into absolutely everything. Your energy leaks into your focus, your decisions, your money. Because when you don't trust yourself anymore, you start to hesitate. And when you hesitate, you then start to lose momentum. And when you lose momentum, life starts feeling way harder than it should be. And then you try to fix it externally. You try to fix it by adding more shiny objects to your life. I'm talking about more work, more effort, more pressure, more plates to spin, instead of actually fixing the root of their problem, which is alignment. Alignment across body, mind, money. Because here's what I realised through the journey on my own life and through working with so many private clients. The problem wasn't my situation, it's how I was showing up within the situation, because my body wasn't aligned. I trained sometimes, but not consistently. I even ate well sometimes for a few days, but there was no real standard, no real code to live my life by. So my energy was inconsistent. Some days I was on top of the world, some days I was down in the dumps, which leads to my mind. There was too much noise, too much thinking, too much overthinking, and not enough control, not enough stability and inner peace. So I was constantly distracted, and my situation with money reflected that. So I was constantly in a state of hesitation, overthinking, delayed decisions. I'm talking about soft body, scattered mind, and stagnant income. And I expected more money to fix that. And that's where it clicked. I didn't need more money. I needed to stop lying to myself repeatedly, over and over again. That was the uncomfortable truth, that once I actually faced it head on, I thought, I just shook myself and thought, why have I been avoiding this for so long? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you don't want to unsee it, because you realise you're not stuck, you're not unlucky, you're not lacking potential, you're not broken, you're just not operating properly at your highest standard consistently. And until that changes, nothing else sticks. So I stopped trying to fix everything all at once, and I started to focus on alignment, starting with my body, training on a consistent basis, eating the right foods, cutting my body fat down. Because if you can't control your body, you can't control anything in your life, because your body is the vessel that you go through life with. I started doing all the things that I said I was going to do, the things that I said I was going to do for years. Not perfectly, but consistently. And something started to shift, because I could trust myself more. Then my mind started to clear. Less noise, less stress, less overwhelm, less overthinking, and more control. And then my money started to improve, and it starts feeding into each other. Not because I found some new magical strategy and some cheat code for life, because I was sharper, I was operating at a higher level. So I became magnetic to all these opportunities and people and moments that I was chasing so desperately. Same opportunities, but a different man. So here's the part that most people miss, but I don't want you to miss it, because you don't need a different life. You need to show up differently in the one that you've already got. And when you do, everything changes. Everything. When I say everything changes, I mean everything. But it doesn't just happen instantly, overnight, but it happens noticeably, consistently over time. Life starts feeling lighter. Decisions start feeling easier, and you stop having to force things constantly on an uphill struggle all the time, and things start to move. That's what alignment feels like. And I just want you to have that feeling of what it feels like to be aligned across body, mind, money, and all those areas growing and feeding into each other as a whole. Because the alternative is that constant low-level tension that you've been feeling for so long. That feeling that something's off. That quiet voice that's reminding you you're not living how you should be living. So the real question is this: how much longer are you going to tolerate that for before you decide to actually make a change that sticks? Because if you keep chasing more money and the promotions at work and getting so much money invested, nothing's going to change. Only alignment will change it. And if what I'm saying feels uncomfortably accurate, click the links in the description, do the alignment audit. It will show you exactly where you're at and exactly where you could be, or book a one-to-one power hour breakthrough call with me, where we'll show you exactly where you're at, what's off, and exactly what needs tightening, so you can build momentum day after day. That calls just clarity, structure, and raw execution. No wasted moments, because you think the feeling that you think money will give you only exists for the man who's aligned enough to build that life that feels like that on a permanent basis. So I'll see you in the next video. And don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to click the link in the description. Everything's there for you, at your feet. Proven, tested formulas and systems that have worked for so many men before you and will keep working for men moving forward. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.